Did you see the news?
I did see the news. What do you mean? Did I see the news? I'm fully prepared.
That has been your favorite T-shirt for a long time. It's finally very relevant for the podcast.
Finally is. Every time the Lachlan Adair discussion came up with a particular somebody, wear this shirt to show support.
Terrible. You're not backing your fellow Oceanic region arm wrestler. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Todd Hutchins and Maateiwarangi Heta Morris. AWE number 2 just dropped that announcement. They have a new main event. It's for the Intercontinental title. The belt is on the line. Maateiwarangi is currently the holder of that. Todd Hutchins coming to wreck that. I'm excited. What do you reckon?
That's awesome. That's awesome. This card has turned out to be absolutely fantastic. Just looking at the amount of international names on that list and the caliber of arm wrestlers coming, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, do you see this as is it a whitewash? Is it a close match? Can Maateiwarangi win it? He is the belt holder. It's on his home turf, in a sense, being in Australia. He has to travel only 4 hours flight, where Todd Hutchins is going to be traveling 20 hours flight. Can he win this match?
I think it's a rough day for Mate. Sorry, man. I love him. I love him. He's got my support. Despite the shirt, he's got my support. Fellow Oceania. It's a rough day. If we look at his performance against Lachlan Adair in Over the Top, there was a hole there that Todd Hutchings makes his entire career out of exploiting.
But there's one thing that Lachlan Adair did in that match that I've never seen Todd Hutchins do.
Yeah.
He finishes with a press.
Yeah, that is very true.
Todd Hutchins don't have a press. Self-admitted, he doesn't have a press. He doesn't have a press.
Which might make for a longer match.
It guarantees it to be a longer match.
Yeah.
There'll be opportunities there where the press could finish it, but Todd insists on finishing it with dragging side pressure, which he has in spades. I mean, side pressure king, as per the T-shirt is worn by Ethan.
Yeah.
But that to me is the spanner in the works that opens this up to a possibility. It opens it up to a possibility because Maateiwarangi is really impressive in the back pressure department. Not enough that I expect him to take control of center early or anything like that, but I expect his enormously thick hand and thumb combined with his back pressure to be a genuine threat, particularly if it gets to a point where Todd Hutchins has somewhat gassed his pronation through his thumb trying to pin Maateiwarangi.
Yeah, well, talking about gassing though, what's the weight difference between these two men? Because Mate's carrying a lot of weight around.
I believe that Todd Hutchins is about 220.
About 220?
220.
Yeah,
pounds.
Mate's about 2,200.
Maateiwarangi is 165 kilos. What is that in pounds?
It's 165 though.
Let me just quickly give you that precisely as the mathematician tries to beat me. 165 kilos to pounds. What'd you say?
353.
Oh, 363, I think.
363.
Come on.
Oh.
363 pounds.
That's right, because 330 plus 30. I should be able to do that. Yeah. 363.
Anyway,
I added.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed.
I am. That's. Hi, guys. I'm out.
There we go. Podcast ended right there. But Maateiwarangi is clearly the bigger man. He comes from a pedigree of not only arm wrestling in New Zealand where he's undefeated, but he is also, I believe, the New Zealand bench press record holder. I think he has a 270 or 275 kilo bench press, something crazy. He is a strong human. You have to say he's a chance, surely.
You have to say there's a lane there. And question is, does Todd Hutchings try to do anything out of straps? Because if he doesn't, I see it very difficult for Mate to hold on to him. We see a lot of people actually getting to straps versus Mate if they back pressure and pronate. But does Todd come forward?
No, Todd would be flexing on Maateiwarangi if he holds on out of straps in the first round. He might do it. Let's assume he gasses him. Then sure, he can hold on. But to come out round one and just say, I'm going to hold on to you, that's ballsy.
I'm daring him, partly because I want Mate to win, and I think that's Mate's best chance. But Todd, if you're that dominant, out of straps, round one.
Oh,
That's the wrong move. It's
that is
absolutely
the wrong move. That's kind of what happened when Todd faced Corey West, which is a relevant point because Corey West and Maateiwarangi similar in many respects that they're both massive.
In many respects, in one respect, they're both giant human beings.
Yeah, Corey West pulls more inside, and Maateiwarangi is purely a top
They're
roller.
completely opposed stylistically.
But hey, they're both two of me, essentially. So Todd Hutchins lost the first round to Corey West, trying to hold on to him out of straps. I think there's a very real risk that would happen as well if he tried to hold on to Maateiwarangi.
Although, stylistically, Mate has that big red flag, that warning sign of "don't hold on to me." So,
well, he may well have the largest thumb in terms of the meat at the base of it, not the thumb bone, but the meat at the base of Maateiwarangi's hand may well be the biggest thumb I've encountered. He trains it specifically.
it's definitely the biggest thumb in the southern hemisphere. That means it's just
so getting around it when he has the back pressure that he has, which Maateiwarangi focuses on probably three things: bench press, back pressure, and thumb. They're like his go-to. They're his foundation strengths. So if Todd holds on, it's a major flex. It's a big risk though, because if he does, he could open himself up and then be troubled for later rounds. I don't think Todd will have a problem getting to straps.
And once it's in straps, it actually becomes difficult for me to see a way for Mate to pin Todd.
Yeah,
that's what we saw versus you, is that he had the ability when there was limited side pressure threat to transition to a press.
Yes,
but Todd never has that lack of side pressure threat.
So it actually makes a good point. If we look at the way that Maateiwarangi defeated me, that path that he walked is virtually the same path that he's going to have to walk against Todd, except his opponent has way more side pressure.
Yeah, and his opponent's going to be going for that lane. What happened with you is you top rolled, got disengaged, and got forced into that lane.
I got forced into it defensively, where Todd's going to come out offensively and use that lane, and actually it's going to be his side of centre. Maateiwarangi more likely to be open and just trying to survive.
And another thing that I think is important to note with this match as well is that you never tried to come forward and contain Mate until your hand was done.
I tried to out top roll him.
Yeah,
and
credit to you, you got close.
I got close, but if I could do the match again, I would try. I would come forward round one. I would look for containing his pronation. And so I think that we know that Todd will go there, and I think that Todd's not going to try to top roll him round one. I'd like to see that too. That's another way of making the match really, really close, Todd, is try to top roll him from round one. But
just pure posting back pressure, Todd. We know that's your ace.
Todd is the top roller in a lot of senses. He's a back pressure puller. He's a back pressure pronation puller who pretends to be a hooker. So
you think we're joking? Look at his matches.
Yeah, it's true. He wins 90% of his matches with back pressure and pronation.
Just with insane side pressure threat at the same simultaneously.
Yeah, Todd's a top roller. Let's just admit it. But it's an interesting match for me. Like I said, where we began this was the fact that Todd Hutchins doesn't have a press, for me, is the one thing that I see as a glimmer of hope for Maateiwarangi. I don't believe Maateiwarangi can control centre. I don't believe he can pin Todd if Todd's wrist is back, not on the offensive surges. But I do believe Todd hits a wall trying to pin Maateiwarangi. If Maateiwarangi gets Todd's wrist from centre, but then Todd drives, and there's that moment right there. If Maateiwarangi maintains fundamental good shape, I think there's something there to work with.
And we saw something very important in your match as well. Mate is developing a certain amount of table IQ and patience on the table. He was calm, he was calculated, he played for position, he didn't rush, and those are all things that are going to help him against Todd in that defensive side. If he can take more and more control rather than looking for surges and pins and come around Todd's pronation, get close to the fire but not so close that his own pronation collapse, and play for position, use the fact that he's got more back pressure, he's got a bigger hand, Has he got a longer? Well, everyone's got a longer forearm than Todd.
Yeah,
so it's
he definitely has a longer forearm than Todd. Maateiwarangi is 6'2".
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. 6'2", 165 kilos. And the thumb the size of like a chicken drumstick at least. Like more than a chicken drumstick. Like an overgrown genetically modified chicken drumstick.
A turkey drumstick.
Maybe not a turkey drumstick. They're pretty big.
Turkey.
A small turkey or an overgrown chicken. Take your choice.
I feel like we're saying duck.
A duck. I feel like a thumbnail was just born right there. Somehow Maateiwarangi with a duck for a thumb. I got to work on that one. So duck thumb is let's
and trust me, it is all it's quacked up to be. So
oh, gee whiz.
If that caused any harms, put it on my bill.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, these jokes are foul.
Stop! Stop! You've been waiting your entire life to be able to do that, and it's just happened. I feel happy for you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Are you sure you're not a dad? Like how many?
Yeah, I'm sure.
How many dad jokes? How many dad jokes?
I'm just well rehearsed.
Oh my goodness, he's well prepared. I feel sorry for your future children.
Anyway.
My goodness. Anyway, Maateiwarangi the duck thumb. It is something real, though. It is something real.
Yeah.
How does he use the duck thumb? You touched on it. How does he survive in that inch above the pad that is defeat?
Interestingly, it's using back pressure and the strap to secure his pronation. The fact that he's got such a large thumb makes it really awkward for Todd to come over the top of his pronation. It's really hard to come over the top of someone with such a large thumb. And with that control that comes from it, it's knuckle height and wrist flexion more so once you're on the defense to be able to disengage Todd's rotation. We talked about the fact that Todd's a top roller. Or a Todd roller, if you want to be a little bit nicer to him. He uses his pronation extensively, and he somewhat relies on that pronation surviving, especially in an offensive sense. If Todd doesn't have pronation, he doesn't pin people. Most of the time. I'm sure he has at some point.
So turning his thumb up being a main objective, very difficult to achieve. But if he gains the wrist, if he gets outside of his wrist line, because if he goes in here, it's over. If he gets outside of his wrist line, step one, Todd attacks. He then needs to work on how to get the thumb. Is it making a vertical forearm and pronating, even though you're almost going towards your own defeat?
There's a risk. There's a risk associated with making a vertical forearm. If you can't maintain sufficient drag and sufficient back pressure,
they'll come inside on you.
You'll come forward and you'll drop your own pronation.
Yeah.
So you've got to be very careful. I'd rather see Mate stay back, cup, and go wrist rise until he's gained a little bit more control before then pushing the forearm forward, because then you have enough purchase with your thumb that you have less risk of it collapsing. Him doing that first, I think he risks giving his pronation up to Todd.
Hey, there is one interesting factor about all of this match and AWE2 card that I want to talk about. Because I think there's a man out there that is kind of bubbling away, a little pissed off seeing this match. It's my good buddy Lachlan Adair. Lachlan Adair, where's his head at this? Because he beat Maateiwarangi over the top last year. That was outside AWE, so it's not in the AWE pipeline. He's also facing Maateiwarangi in a casual match just in a couple of weeks' time. And he's going to be on that card, but not for the title, not against that. He's facing USA's Jordan Sill, which I will announce the winner of Jordan Sill and Lachlan Adair becomes the number one contender for the Intercontinental belt. So the winner of that will face the winner of Maateiwarangi and Lachlan. But what's Lachlan Adair
and Todd?
Yeah, what's Lachlan thinking about watching this match for the belt?
I think he's...
Hi, Lachlan.
Surely he's hoping that Todd wins, just because he'll have to beat Mate about 4 or 5 times in a row to get and keep the belt if he doesn't have that redemption shot against Todd.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a redemption shot against Todd. Todd beat Lachlan 3-0 in the USA. Gallant effort from Lachlan, but it was clear that Todd was the stronger arm wrestler in that lane. They went arm on arm. Very different, but it's worth talking about this parallel because Lachlan, as we said, has beaten Maateiwarangi. Todd has beaten Lachlan. So by basic standards, you think, oh, okay, well, that means that Todd is going to crush Maateiwarangi. But arm wrestling math doesn't always work that way, does it?
No, because Lachlan has one strength that is definitely stronger than Todd's, and that's his wrist. You just have to look at his wrist to see the man's got a phenomenal wrist flexion. So Todd was able to, in over the top, take control of Mate's pronator, or at least this is their first pull, and then voluntarily give it up for a press. And there are two things that Todd doesn't possess, is the massive wrist flexion of Lachlan, and then the follow-up with the press.
Where Todd's allocation is more finger flexion and pronated side pressure.
Which, unfortunately, I think it's enough. I think it's still a good lane against Matt to have.
It is absolutely.
Yeah.
Lachlan Adair, I think Lachlan Adair's ability to beat Maateiwarangi is evident and clear. I think that he would beat Maateiwarangi. He'd be the favourite.
Definitely the favourite.
And we're saying this at the time when we haven't seen them pull. So they pull in a week's time. I think we'll find out. But when they pull, there's no title on the line. It's a casual event. It's in a pub. It's not on the big lights. The preparation isn't as all in pot committed in some respects. But I can't